47A, the 25th of September 2022. You're very welcome back. I have about 812 subscribers at the moment. Very welcome any newcomers. And we have to vary the various topics here for obvious reasons. And if you're not interested in workshop practice and vintage, then you can just turn off, because this is all practical stuff. There's no opinion or politics or anything else in here. Now, I've dealt with in the earlier video, number 4, vintage, under the vintage section, about acetylene. And now we're going to deal with the storage of acetylene and how it's marketed and how it's done. Now, nowadays, long ago, there were acetylene generators, and if you go and search for them online, you'll see examples of old ones. They're sort of obsolete. And a few years ago, I made one here, and I never got it fully going because I ran out of time. Very slow process, but I tried to make it out of a cylinder gas. And here it is here, and there's a little valve here, a motor valve, and I'd pump it up with air and then put it in water and see how to seal it. And my word, was it difficult to seal. I probably may never get back to it, and you wouldn't know, I might too. But the thing about it is that was the problem, getting it sealed. So I've also made acetylene using a winemaker's demijohn, a 5-litre demijohn, and I've actually used it. The problem is that you don't get pure product, you get other impurities in it, but I have managed to braise with it when I was stuck a few times, and as an experiment. But I wouldn't advise it because it is a dangerous gas after all, and if it gets into the right mix in the air, it can explode. So be very careful with it. It's chosen for ships because it goes to the top. It doesn't go down into the hole of such a fire. But long ago, young lads would have it in their pocket, and they'd be making tin boxes, and putting them on fire and making bangers out of them and all that sort of stuff. So it was very common years ago. That's calcium carbide, and the product of calcium carbide is acetylene. It can be made in other ways too. Nowadays, it's sold in the cylinder, this classic cylinder here, acetylene. And with these small ones, there's the connector on the top, there's a valve, and then round here you get the detail. And sometimes it can be very hard to read them. And the big cylinders will have it typed on them somewhere too. Now, the thing to understand here is that something called tare weight, T-R-E, probably pronounced differently in America. We pronounce it tare. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but tare weight is the weight before you put the acetylene in, and from here on, acetylene is referred to as product. You call it the product from the point of view of marketing and all that sort of stuff. Now, when they make this steel drum, they put into it a porous material, which is very similar to the Cadbury's Honeycrisp, I think they call it, bar. It had a yellow cover on it. I couldn't get one easily. I didn't get time. Maybe if I looked I would. But when you broke it open, you saw the Honeycrisp inside it with little porous material, little holes in it. And that's not that difficult to make, but they used to use asbestos, but that's banned now by the EU. And now they use other materials such as calcium and other type of things. And I've seen examples where these were cut on YouTube there, down with a saw, not to be recommended either. And the stuff that's inside is very hard. You'd need a hammer and chisel to break it out. It's really hard, porous material. Okay. The reasoning behind that is when you have the gas, the acetylene gas down all through that, it can't explode. It's much safer. So once they get the porous material in here, the next thing is to put in the receiver medium, and that can be, there's a few products they use with a D, beginning with a D, big long dio something or other. I won't go into it here, but the traditional one, and still the one most favoured, and as I understand it, based on what I know, all the British suppliers still use it, and that's acetone. There's an old tin of acetone there, and acetone can be sold as a nail varnish remover. There it's there, a nail varnish remover. You get it. Here's the. I'm showing you the wrong place. The nail varnish remover. You see that there, and the camera is actually on various sides of this smartphone. So there's the commercial product, and there's the nail varnish remover, and the two are identical. And acetone is a clear liquid with a pungent smell, and you'll find it from nail varnish remover. I just pour a little drop in here. Where's the camera here? Yeah. You see it there, it's white, that's the main thing. Same colour as water, has a terrible smell, you smell it a mile away, get it sealed up and get done with it. So they fill in the the cylinder with that. And as I understand that they fill it about 3/4 the volume. Now, I'm not to be held by that, and don't experiment with this. This is just to let you know when you're choosing and how to buy and get acetylene. So the thing about it is, right, it would be, we said 2/3 to 3/4 full, whatever is the desired amount. And the next thing is they have the acetylene there and they pump it into these. Now, at the factory, like BOC or Air products or that, nearly all the one companies anyway, including Hobbywell, they have it free from impurities. Stuff you make, they made ships using homemade acetylene. They did. They used to have big acetylene generators. And before the electric light, there were acetylene generators in all cities. I mean, Percy French's song, London is with gaslight a gleam. Some of that gas was coal gas, but a lot of it was acetylene, and it was made by adding water to calcium carbide in various parts of the city and pumping around to the various lamps. And I made it here. I showed it to you on the previous video. If you haven't seen it, look at it, because this video is meant to be an extension. But when they made the acetylene, when they have the acetylene at the factory now under control conditions, it's pumped in by never allowing it increase any more than about 15 pounds per square inch. I think it's about 12. So it's pumped in slowly, never letting it increase, and then that goes down and it increases in pressure. Now this one here at the bottom, it says that the pressure is 52 bar. So you can multiply that by 15 or 14.5 to get the exact pressure, the maximum pressure of these. They're various pressure. So the bar is the pressure inside. So as you push in the acetylene, it dissolves into the acetone, dissolves down into it, and the acetone can absorb 250 times its own volume or weight. And if you use the metric system, then nearly the two are the same, right? So it can absorb it. Now, as you increase the amount of acetylene inside in this cylinder or any cylinder, the weight goes up because you're putting in extra product. And acetylene gas has a weight, and as it's put in, it dissolves into the acetone, and the weight increases and the pressure increases, and that's the pressure that keeps your torch going. And I would presume, if you, and I think this is from my own experience, if you have a new cylinder, you'll get a stronger push out of pressure and a stronger flame. That as it dies out, you have to adjust your knobs a little bit extra, and that's a skill in itself. So you have the pressure and you have the extra weight. Now, before they put any product in, they measure the tare weight, and in this one here, it's a tare. It's very hard to read because each cylinder is individually stamped, whereas the factory will stamp really clear stuff around the bottom of the cylinder or wherever it's on it. The tare weight will be put on with a punch usually, and it's especially a lad with a hammer really will do it, and he'll put a little dot between the two. So the tare weight on this, I managed to bring it up with a lot of trouble, is 7.49. 7.49, and that's right. I'd know by the weight of it, that's roughly right. 7.49, and if you had 50 cylinders, it'd all be slightly different. It's 7.63, 7.34, and all that, because of the variation in the weight of the cylinder and the steel in it and all the rest. This is made of steel. So painted this color too, that red color, that deep red color. That's legally to have it identifiable as acetylene for fire services and all that sort of stuff. Now, I think I've explained that fairly well. So the tare weight is the weight of everything except product. It's the weight of everything in the cylinder plus the acetone, but not the product. When they put the product in, then they get it to the desired pressure, what they consider is the pressure they want and how much of it they want to sell to you. And I worked this out here. This one here will hold 0.63 kilograms, 0.63 kilograms. See that there, 0.63 kilograms, right? Now I have Da there, I'm not sure. Oh, right. Da is the chemical symbol for acetylene. Da, see it there, or product, okay? So Da is the product. So when you get a new cylinder, if you weigh it, you should get 7.49 tare weight, and you should get 0.63 product, and you should have 8.12, and you'll find that will be very close to what you have. So you have 8.1 kilos. Now there's a calculator online there. It's there. You can just calculate the weight, and as I understand it, that's 0.54 of a cubic meter, or 19.1 cubic feet. The Americans use the cubic feet. So that'll give you an idea. That calculator will simply tell you what you have, okay? Now I don't want to get too detailed because of the time limitation. So when you have the two of those, now just to understand that again, the tare weight is the weight of everything less product before they put the product in. When they put the product in, they reach the desired pressure in bars or kilos or pounds per square inch, whatever you want. And then when they get that, they stop, they seal it up, and that's it. I don't think they weigh it again. That they know what's gone in there, and that's it. If they weigh it, that's all right. The big point here is if you're halfway through your cylinder, you don't have to just guess. You can weigh it, and I've done it. You can weigh these cylinders. What I use is a fisherman's weight. Some fisherman's weights are very, very accurate. And I use a fisherman's weighing scales, a fisherman's weighing scales. So just tie a piece of string here and weigh it up, and some of them are very accurate, and I found this all to be correct. But you can weigh your cylinder, and then you take away the tare weight, and that'll tell you what you have left. So you don't have to wait, as I said, until you smell the acetone. Just weigh it. If it's brand new, in this case it'll be 8.12. If it's only half of that, then if it's 4.6, then that's what you have left. Sorry, if you measure, and it's 8.12 kilos, right? That's all right. You take away the tare weight and you have 0.63 product. But if you only get lesser than that, if you get, we'll say 4.6, which is half, right? You take away this and you'll get 0.31 kilos product. It'll tell you what product you have left, irrespective of what size the cylinder is. I checked a big cylinder, and this is a tare weight of 73 kilos, the big high cylinder on that. Now, I think I've explained that fairly well, how you know what the product left in your cylinder is. There may be various weighing scales. I'm sure nowadays there are some very accurate weighing scales, and you don't have to be guessing. Of course, what most of us do is we wait till it's running out and we go and get it, but you don't have to do that. You can do it by weight. Some people get that very hard to understand. How can a gas have a weight? Well, it has a weight, and when it's compressed in, it has even more weight. The pressure doesn't add to the weight, it's the amount of product that's in there. And I presume it turns into some sort of a liquid when it's mixed with the acetone. Right, that's 12.5. Now, I might come back and deal with the way I do it. Up to lately, you couldn't get this stuff. You have to pay a big rent, and the problem was you could rent your cylinders now, and you get the bill every year, and the rent on the smaller ones is nearly as dear as the rent on the big ones, because they have as much work with these for the same profit as they have with the big one. They really don't want to see it coming. But some industries require those cylinders for various reasons, and if you're bringing it up on a roof or that, you need a small cylinder. So for that in mind, you have people in England called Hobbywell, and I hope they do well, because they're good products, just really good stuff. They're the same company really as I understand as BOC and Air. They're all the one people more or less, but they will do the cylinder. You pay a rent on them, and you might be able to work out various deals with your local supplier. I don't know how popular they are, but if they're not popular, you could get to a situation where they'd quit, and that'd be a pity. Now, I might come back and do a video on the Hobbywell cylinders and all of that, and all of that. But just please do also remember, don't assume you need acetylene. There are many other gases out there, and I'll deal with those again, and many other systems that will do in the workshop and get you by. Acetylene is quite expensive, but it is for certain reasons the best gas of the whole lot. And I like to use it, and it's a pleasure to use. But for that now, I think we had that. Now just remember, that little cylinder would not be good for cutting. You'd be drawing the gas out too fast, and the acetone would come out with it. You don't want that. You can only get a certain amount of gas at a particular time out of a cylinder, and they'll give you that in a booklet and all that. But you have to use a bit of common sense. I mean, you can't come along and cut a girder down in half with this. People say they do it or they do it. No, you can't do that. You have to cut your cloth according to your measure. That's 14.5. I think I've explained everything. I think I have, about how the weight done. You might notice how they do it. They do it by weight. Weight is a very accurate system. You have the tare weight, which is everything except the product, and then you have the total weight, which is the product included. And as you use the product, the total weight goes down, but if you use it right, you should never change the tare weight. If you leave the valve open and too fast, the acetone can come out, and you'll smell it, and it's a bad, it does damage, and it's not a good idea. You have to stop. You'll see the flame getting weaker. Stop at that. Turn off your cylinder, leave it back. And that's the way the companies want, because if you, the more trouble they have, the more expensive it becomes, and all that. So now, folks, I think I've explained everything, and I'll let you go with that. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and happy workshop experience. Bye. Good luck. Thank you.